This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is the show where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author, host of The Ken Coleman Show, where he helps people with their careers and does so in about 75 cities across America, plus Sirius XM, plus a podcast, plus #1 best-selling books, and we're here to talk to you about all of that. Again, the phone number, 888-825-5225. Matthew is in West Virginia. What's up, Matthew?
Hi, Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Coleman. How you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Just really quick, I just wanted to take a second to thank you both for all you've done for us listeners. I was very blessed to discover you guys as an 18-year-old, and your teachings have helped me get through school completely debt-free, and now I'm starting to begin to give generously, so I just wanted to thank you both.
Well, way to go, dude. How can we help?
My question today is regarding whether or not I should, take my giving into a more formalized fashion, as in a foundation, or to stay anonymous as it is now.
Okay. How much are we talking about giving away a year?
So I just got out of school, and previously I'd just been doing between $1,000 to $5,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going up to 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing a lot of research on it, and a lot of people say it doesn't make sense unless you have like buku bucks to give away.
Mm-hmm.
But I was more or less looking at it as, standardizing the process and sort of partnering with organizations and legitimizing the giving, just heading into the future.
Well, you're very wise to think about it at this stage of the game. It is not worth the expense to file the annual tax returns and go to the legal expense to form the foundation, because you're probably going to have $10,000 or $20,000 invested in all of that. So you don't want to spend all your money on lawyers that you would have been given to somebody. So yeah, until you're giving away several $100,000 a year minimum, it starts to not be that's non-designated. It starts to be a problem. It starts to not work. So you can formalize the process with a simple checkbook, and just decide, okay, I'm going to give this much. You could even move it into an account that is just your personal account, and that account is used only for giving. And that way you would keep up with it. You'd be able to track what you did very carefully, very easily. Easier than if it was mixed in with your normal personal bills, right? And you don't have the advantage of anonymity unless you're doing it with cash. And when you go to cash, you also don't have any tax write-off, which is not that big a deal, but you don't have any tax write-off. And so, yeah, at this stage of the game, I think you've gotten some pretty good advice. You can formalize the process without doing a family foundation. And we were giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And even with a pretty decent process, at that point, that's when we realized we needed to form our first foundation, and we did that about 15 years ago, and then we've amped up our giving from there. But that way it just keeps us very true to our principles, which is what you're wanting to put in place. So good question, though. But no, I don't think you need a foundation today.
Yeah, but I think he might, the way he's going about it.
Won't be long.
A young man who's debt-free and just getting started professionally, you see him doing some wonderful things.
At 22, I was thinking about giving to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Giving me a better car.
That's true.
Giving me a place to live.
Yeah, I mean, that's a phenomenal contribution.
He's way ahead of the game. Yeah. Gabriel is in Santa Barbara. Gabriel, what's up?
Hello, gentlemen. It's an honor for being able to talk to you guys here. I try my best not to be nervous for you.
No big deal. We've never lost a patient. What's up?
So roughly 4 years ago, I purchased a truck, and I knew I couldn't afford it. That's the way I was actually introduced into you, because I was very panicky, and I was You guys were the best model to find out how to manage my finances. I got that truck for $38,000 4 years ago. Now, 4 years later, I owe $12,000 left, but the truck is now valued at around almost $40,000. So it's literally almost more than what I got it for 4 years ago. My question is, should I just pay off the $12,000 and keep the truck, or should I just sell it and take the $25,000 to $27,000 in positive equity to myself?
What do you make?
So I almost already know the answer to your question, but so I just left my job about 2 months ago due to COVID situations, and I started my window tinting business.
Stop. Why did you leave a job due to COVID 2 months ago?
Well, it wasn't due to COVID, but we lost a lot of our staff, and I kind of fell into it. I'm 21.
So you mean the company failed?
Right. It was a very, very tough situation.
Okay, but you didn't quit because of COVID, or okay?
No.
That they lost their revenue because of the pandemic, and it caused them to have to do layoffs.
Correct.
Okay. So what do you think you're going to be making when you get the next job?
So like I said, right now I'm doing automotive window tinting on my own.
Dude,
my own
what
business.
were you making before?
I was making roughly around $35,000.
Okay. And do you have a degree in school, did you say?
No.
Okay. And so what do you think you'll be doing in the coming 2 years? I mean, just give me a stab in the dark. What's your plan?
I should definitely be able to make anywhere between 50 and 60.
Okay. All right. So a good rule of thumb is to not have things with motors and wheels totaled up that equals more than half your annual income, because other than this anomaly of the last 18 months, they all go down in value. Now, granted, yours went up in value, so have mine, but that's correcting itself very quickly. 6 months from now, the truck will be gone back down, or heading back down. As the supply starts hitting the car lots again, we'll see supply demand and the supply chain issues driving prices into an artificial world go away. So I think we can all agree long-term trucks don't go up in value, they go down in value. And so you don't want a $40,000 asset going the wrong way when you make 40. But if you're going to be making 80, then you're right on that bubble. And it sounds like you're heading that way. If you want to keep it a little while and see if you get your income up. But, dude, if you're in a steady rhythm of making $50,000, you don't need a $40,000 truck.
Correct.
I'd sell it.
The only thing.
Gabriel, I'd sell it. I like to fast forward goals in life. I'd sell it. You're going to make 26 on it. Buy yourself a nice truck.
For 20 grand.
For 20, and put the 6 towards your financial goals. Fast forward everything with one purchase price. That's what I'd do. I'd sell it now.
Yeah. It is just a stupid truck at the end of the day. I mean, we fall in love with these things like we have to keep them forever. It's not a wife. It's a truck. You know, so you don't have to keep it. It's not required. It's not until death do us part. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today, #1 best-selling author. Imagine what it'd be like to be in an arena filled with people that are all fired up about winning. They're fired up about being better at their marriage, at their parenting, at their leadership, at their mental wellness, at their career, at their money. They want to be baby steps millionaires. All the Ramsey personalities will be there. It's called Smart Conference. We're going to be doing this with about 8,000 folks in Dallas on Saturday, October the 22nd. This is not just another pep talk. This is helping you be smarter. And when you're in a room full of people like that, a connection happens, and there is a spirit to the whole process, and you leave there believing and knowing that you can win and how to do it. It's only a $39 ticket. It should be $390 with a lineup like this. All the Ramsey personalities, plus Craig and Amy Groeschel from Life Church are going to be there. We're looking forward to it. Get your passes now before it sells out. Several of our Building Wealth events in the fall are almost gone. They're in the 90 percentile on the sellout. One of them's within just a handful of tickets. So you need to get your tickets for these events. As you know, events are very popular these days. After the pandemic, people no longer take for granted our right and ability to gather. And so these things are selling out like crazy. Yeah, so $39 tickets. Get them at RamseySolutions.com/events. RamseySolutions.com/events. Feels like an eternity ago we were allowed to gather.
I can't believe how long it's been since we've done a Smart Conference, and it's really a special event. And you're right, some of us need catalytic moments, something that just ignites something. And an event like this, so many people in the room all gathering for one reason, to go from where they are to where they want to be. And it really is infectious. If you've never been, give it a shot. It's extraordinary, just as somebody who gets to participate as a speaker.
Yeah.
But to feel the energy in the room as I sit and listen to all the other folks talk, it's special.
Well, and it's like one of my pastor buddies who gave me a hard time one day, and he said, Ramsey, you say the same thing over and over again. And I said, so do you.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, hello, Pop.
But that doesn't mean we don't need to go to church.
That's correct.
So there's an advantage to you in your spiritual, emotional, mental well-being, relational well-being to go to church. Yeah. Physically. Go sit your tail end in there and have the experience of the discomfort of the parking lot. Yeah. Because nothing's meaner than a Christian in a parking lot.
Boy, that's the truth.
All this whole process just to have a set aside moment. Yeah. A set aside, and that's what happens at these events. Yeah. It's not church, but it is.
Well, not to mention, we have a world-class band, one of the great cover bands in all of America that comes in. And so the music,
they're really good.
I mean, there's not a low moment. In between all the speakers, we have world-class music. We have fun surprises, experiences that are just, that weave in the entire day. There's a
Smart
thread.
Conference is immersive.
It really is,
for sure. Philip is with us. Philip is in Chattanooga. Hi, Philip. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
I just graduated college this past semester, debt-free.
All right.
And I also got married 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations. You've been busy.
Well, thank you. And with this marriage, I now have $10,000 in student debt that she brought in. And
you got off light.
I'm just wondering. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I need to write a check and pay it off, or if I need to wait.
Why would you wait?
Well, I've got about $13,200 in my retirement, and
no, I don't want to take it out of retirement. You got money in your checking?
Yeah, I've got about $16,000, so it'd leave me with about $6,000 left.
Pay it off today.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
We're done. Now let's move up through the baby steps, we call them. Now, does that make you guys 100% debt free?
Yes, we both have paid-for vehicles, and we're renting at the moment.
You guys are way ahead of the curve. See, now you're debt-free with $6,000. Your next goal is to have baby step 3, which is 3 to 6 months of household income as your expenses, as a rainy day fund, okay? And so what's your household income?
Right at $75,000 before taxes.
Okay. Well, let's call your emergency fund 15 to 20.
Okay.
And that's money to sit on. You don't ever touch that. That's not I want a couch money. That's not I think I need a bass boat money. This is money for emergencies only.
All right. Okay.
So we're going to raise your first goal then after you write the check today is sit down with your spouse, develop a budget. The two of you are going to lay out your goals together. We're going to build an emergency fund of 15 or 20, whatever you decide the number is quickly. Let's use the money. Everything we can squeeze out of the budget goes on that. Once that's done, then we start investing 15% of our income, or you push pause between baby step 3 and 4 and you start saving for a down payment on a house if you have a house in your future.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you guys are right on track. I'm going to send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover book that'll show you how to do all that as a wedding gift and get you guys plugged in. That's a great start he's got.
Phenomenal. I mean, play that out, Dave. I think when people hear that, maybe we have some new folks listening or watching today. This couple is so far ahead of the game with that kind of income, call it $75,000 gross, no debt. They're going to be millionaires in what? How long? If they follow our baby steps, start putting 15% to retirement after they fully fund that emergency
With normal
fund.
growth in their career through their 20s, probably 12 years.
That's crazy. So you're talking about 34, 35, 36 years of age.
Yeah, they'll be early millionaires. Yeah, baby step if they follow the baby steps.
And that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
When you told him you're ahead of the curve, I wanted our audience who may be new to this conversation to go, that's where they stand.
Let's face it. What normal is, you call me, you're 22 years old, you just got married, you got $160,000
Correct.
student loan debt, and 2 stupid $20,000 cars that you shouldn't have bought, but you thought you had to celebrate graduating from college with stupidity. Mm-hmm. So, what else would be involved there? There's probably some other little debt of some credit card debt hanging around.
Credit card, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some of that, and so that would be like the normal person calling me. So this guy is he's on the other end of the bell curve. Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
Chris is in Kansas City. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Dave and Ken. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure.
I was a little normal. Now I'm hoping to be on my way to weird. So I would like some guidance there. I've currently been saving.
Ken and I are experts in weird.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Good. I need some expert guidance. My wife and I have been saving up for kind of an upgrade in the house. And after this month, I believe I'll have the fully funded emergency fund and 20% to put down on the house as long as stuff doesn't kick up in price again.
You own a house now?
We are in a house now, yes. We do owe some on this now. We are in a starter house now. We've outgrown it. We're hoping to have the
20% is in cash, or the 20% includes the equity in your current home?
It's in cash. Okay.
Well, then you also got equity in your current home, right?
Yeah, and that's where I'm not quite sure where it would be at. I mean, it's a starter house, needs some work, and so I'm not sure what the sale would kick up there. But I'm kind of curious if, with what I've saved, if I should pay off the house that I'm currently in, maybe use it as like a rental, or if I should just kind of stay where I'm at as far as.
No, you don't have the money. You don't have the money to do that.
Okay.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from on that, so you'll know why I answered that so fast. All right. I don't believe, and I didn't, and I don't teach people to buy rental property with debt. If you have a paid-for starter house and then you go into debt on your main new residence, that means that you have essentially borrowed on your new residence to buy a rental. Essentially, it's the same thing, right? And since you can't do this move debt-free, then it's not time to start rentals yet. You need to sell it.
Little bit of an X factor here. If I have more saved than what my house that I'm currently in is owed on the note, does that kind of change the?
You're still going to go into debt on the next house.
Okay.
Because you kept the first one.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying pay. Okay. You
can't pay if you could pay cash for the new one and have the old one also in cash. I'd be okay. But I'm not going to have you buy rental properties by borrowing on your home, which is essentially what you're doing because you're throwing all your money over there in the rental instead of putting it on the other one, and you're going into debt. So it's the same thing as going to get a home equity loan to buy a dadgum rental. And no, I'm not going to tell you to do that. I believe in rental property. I love real estate, but not borrowed, not leveraged real estate, not mortgaged real estate. I'm always going to teach you to be 100% debt-free. It is the shortest distance between where you are in wealth and financial peace. Two words that don't go together, like airline service. This is The Ramsey Show. chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Sean and Tammy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than we deserve. Good to have you guys. Where do y'all live?
We live in Houston, Texas area.
Oh, wonderful. So good to have you. How much debt have you paid off?
We paid off about $100,000.
Wow. How long did this take?
It took us about 8 years.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
Ranged about $70,000 to about $130,000 for both of us.
Okay, cool. And what kind of debt was the $100,000?
It was mostly student loan debt.
Old Sally Mae. Took a while to get her out of the house, huh? So tell us the story. What happened here?
There you go, Sarge.
So we got a copy of your show.
Yeah. So we moved to Houston and bought a big house. You know, it was about 4,000 square feet. Mm-hmm. And I started a new job there. And a buddy of mine at work, he went around and he was passing around and said, "Hey, you guys, I got this audio thing." And we download on our computers. I listened to it, and it was a Financial Peace University. It was apparently a pirated copy of it. So
okay, that'll work.
But
and we started listening, and we were like, "Wow, we're doing that wrong, and we're doing that wrong, and there's a way better way to do that."
Yeah, it was like one thing right after the other. I was like, "Oh man, this makes so much sense. Why are we so stupid?"
So we made a huge chart on the back of our bedroom door that had all 100 little steps that we needed to get to $100,000. Mm-hmm. And we just got fired up when we started paying it off and paying it off and paying it off. And we did great at the beginning. And then I started having these weird spells where I would forget things. So we went to the doctor and found out that I had epilepsy.
Ooh.
And tried a couple of medications, and then they didn't help. So then we went and got an MRI and found out that I had a brain tumor.
Oh, there's that.
Wow.
So then we were like, okay, you stop the debt snowball. You just
Right.
start stockpiling money.
Right.
And you get ready. And so I had the brain tumor taken out. And then we find out that if you do it on purpose and you save up your money, it takes a good 2-3 months to get the bill. And this time we just paid off the bill with cash instead of adding to the debt like we had our whole lives.
Oh, wow.
One of the debts that we had was the birth of our daughter Haley, this cute little blonde over here.
Mm-hmm.
But with her, we knew we were pregnant. It took 9 months to bake her up in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And then 9 months later, we still hadn't paid it off. And that's how we were living before.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get a brain tumor out of the blue. And by the time the bill comes, we just pay it off.
Wow.
That's a nice thing to have while you're facing something that severe.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
and it doesn't stop there. You know, afterward, because of the brain tumor, we found out there was other complications that happened. You know, she had lost, when they took it out, she lost sensation in half of her face, so she couldn't feel what was in her eyes. So she had an eye surgery where they grafted a nerve into her face from her leg, and then she couldn't hear. Or actually, she could hear too well, I guess is the thing. So 3 ear surgeries later, she now has much better hearing.
But this was like a year later and then a year later so that we could pay our out-of-pocket max every year.
But that kept kicking Sally Mae down the road a little bit because you're dealing with health stuff.
Exactly. I always say that we're the little engines that could.
Yeah.
Like we were on the debt snowball plan.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do it, but all these things kept coming up.
Much more important to take care of you than Sally.
Yeah. And then we crashed our car.
Yeah, I got in a head-on collision and total our van.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, and that was our first car that we bought with cash because we had to upgrade from the little tiny sedan that we had because we had 6 kids now, so we bought a minivan, a used minivan. Had totaled that, and then I was informed about a month later that I was put on notice for a layoff.
Of course.
Yeah, so it all happens all at once. But
Deadgum country song, man. It's unbelievable.
And so, people tell you like, yeah, I started Dave Ramsey and it's a good idea and stuff, but then stuff happens in life and you can't just follow it. And we were like, baloney. We don't do debt. Even if we have 6 bodies and a car that only fits 5, we're going to make do. And we're going to buy a car with cash because we don't do debt anymore.
Yeah. So we bought not a brand new car. It was new to us. It was a used car. Had 40,000 miles on it. We were, the Lord blessed us with the cash that we needed in order to get it paid for without going into debt at all. So many naysayers kept saying, "You guys just get a loan. Come on, you can do it. I mean, it's just a car." We decided not to, and then that the medical journey just kept going on. So I guess what was it total? How many surgeries?
So then they said for epileptics, there's this thing you can install in your brain and it will help turn it off. So I had brain surgery again. And then it didn't work. So then the next year they said, we can just go in and take that chunk of your brain out. And we said, okay. And by this point, he was like, okay, we're putting our out-of-pocket max in our budget. Because we keep doing it year after year. And then it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because I'm just that patient.
Yeah.
But luckily, he said, we can put the thing back in your brain. But I can't imagine how it would have been if this doctor was like, there's something else we can try to help you because you're a difficult patient. But you haven't paid your bill from last year. Because that's the way we were living before we did the Ramsey plan. But this way, we paid it with cash. So when they had something else that we could try to help us.
5 surgeries now or 6?
How many was it? 7, I think, total?
7?
Total is 9.
So total is 9. 4 of them were
when was
brain
the
surgeries.
last one?
Yeah.
How long ago was the last one?
October.
This long ago? I was bald in October.
Okay. All right. So how are you doing overall now?
I still have about 2 seizures a week.
Bless you.
But the thing is, what would it have been like if every time I needed a surgery or every time I needed to change medications, we had to panic about money?
Yeah.
Like now it's not a problem.
And while you're doing all 9 surgeries, you go ahead and pay off Sally Mae. And have some kids and live and fix a head on and get laid off and oh my gosh.
We're the little engines that could.
And the thing,
I think more than that, I think you just didn't quit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable heart. And this isn't a question, just a comment. I hope the audience is paying attention to this. You had financial peace in the midst of still paying off the debt. The fact that you guys press pause, but the ability to do that, Dave. I mean, they hadn't even paid off all the debt yet and still cash flowed stuff.
Yeah, very amazing.
Huge.
You guys are something else. Very, very well done.
Yeah.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
To not pay for Christmas with your December paychecks.
It's very prescriptive.
I'm also going to tell you, never quit.
That's right.
In her case.
Yeah.
It's like a Winston Churchill speech, never quit. Never quit.
Once we got the budget, it was just nice to be able to say, this is how much we need for new school clothes, and this is how much we need for Christmas, and this is how much we need for out-of-pocket max in case Tammy needs to have brain surgery. And I'm the free spirit. And now the thought of not having a budget is scary to me because I'm like, but.
And a monthly budget meeting.
Yeah, really. So let me ask you this. I don't know anything about the medical part of this. Does stress add to the likelihood of you having an episode? Yes? He's shaking his head yes.
She says no, but I say yes because I see it.
Okay. All right. So the fact that you don't have financial stress in the house is probably helping.
It's huge.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's allowed us to focus on the things important. These 4 right here, our relationship with each other.
Her health? Yeah.
Her health,
oh
exactly, yeah. Instead of focusing on money, on this material stuff that consumes so many people's lives.
Stupid car payment on a stupid car. Yeah. Wow. You guys are fun. Amazing. You're inspiring. Wow. All right, let's bring the kiddos up. What are their names and ages?
This is Jacob, Sierra, Haley, and Kai, and they are 13, 11, 9, and 7.
All right, very good. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story, and you guys have quite a story. But the little train that didn't quit, for sure, without a doubt. Also got a copy of a non-pirated Financial Peace University version, and we'll let you watch it legally this time. Yeah. And available with Ramsey Plus. It's online now, and we'll give you a 1-year subscription so you guys can go through it. Brand new videos on this, and they're the best we've ever done. The class is the best it's ever been in all these years. And also a copy of Total Money Makeover. So, all right, gang, count it down. 100,000 paid off in 8 years while they take quite a journey from 70 to 130. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Okay, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. I am debt-free!
Love it! Whoop, 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 whoop. That's how it's done. Wow. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Matt's in Erie, Pennsylvania. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ken. How you doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
Yeah, so my wife and I were 23 years old. We got married when we were 21, and I'm a youth pastor, and she works a customer service job so that she can stay at home and take care of our baby. We're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and we've never had any debt except for our mortgage.
Way to go.
We both have always, thank you, appreciate it. We both have always enjoyed listening to you and following your program, but we recently took FPU, and we left it feeling super inspired to pay off our debt for our house. So we currently have $48,000 left on it, and it's a fixed 15-year mortgage, but I don't want to just wait 15 years for it. I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I hear you talk about the importance of having a big shovel to pay off debt. And as someone who's getting started in his career and is in ministry, I don't have a huge shovel. My question is how can I wisely increase my income while balancing the responsibility and calling of being a pastor to pay off our house?
Good for you.
Yeah, I love the question, Matt. My dad was a pastor, and many times in our childhood or adolescence, he would have to, because he pastored a small church, so had a very small income and not a lot of opportunity, he would have to add things. And so, Dad was very good with construction work and things of that nature. So my thought would be, where do you have some talent and skill that you can immediately put to work so you've got something premium to offer based on the time you can give? So how many hours a week could you give?
Well, I could do evenings and then Fridays and Saturdays, so maybe realistically, maybe 20 hours, something like that.
So you start there. I've got 20 hours max. And so what can I do that will allow me to make some money quickly? Because we're talking about hourly work right now. You can make $20 an hour if you're stocking shelves, at Walmart or Target. But what's a skill that you have right now that you can get paid for?
Well, I really like to work with people, talk with them. I'm pretty relational. I can't say I'm super handy, but I'm learning. I'm 23. I'm really, I kind of view myself more as scrappy than anything. I'll do whatever I can to.
So,
to really
your degree? You went to seminary. Did you have another degree other than seminary?
No, it's a youth pastoral degree with pastoral leadership.
Perfect. Good. Okay. Yeah, so it's just a matter of poking around and figuring out what you could do that you can make the most per hour on the short term. Yeah. And I honestly, my general rule is I I'm kind of entrepreneurial, so I always move towards some kind of self-employed anything. And it could be something as silly as walking dogs or pet sitting, and making $30 an hour doing that. And I mean, we've had people do their debt-free screams on here that have done that. The great news is you're way ahead. You're thinking about this. B, you only owe $48,000. I mean, you could pay off this house in like 2 years.
Yeah,
of extra income.
That's the goal. That's what I want.
Yeah, but I mean, extra income. It's just a matter of how much you guys want to get jacked up about this. And then, so then the other question is, what Ken's saying is true. The data that we have working with churches all across America, we've worked with about 75,000 churches now over the past 30 years. And the data that we have is somewhere around 80 to 85% of pastors are bivocational. Most churches are not of size that they can even support the senior pastor full time. Just in general, the way the church movement's been in America. And traditionally, the worship pastor and youth pastor starve to death, until you get into a mega church or something, right? And so you're in your calling, it's going to be a few years before your calling pays you a substantial amount of money. Now, as your calling does develop, though, particularly your oratory skills, if you become a great preacher, you may get some side gigs speaking at youth conferences and other things, filling in for a pastor here or there, pulpit ministry, that kind of thing. And even later on, maybe some writing. So a lot of pastors supplement their incomes within the calling, and then some just simply they have a bread route, a donut route, and they deliver off a truck, or they work UPS or whatever it is you do. But, the good news is you're willing to work, and like you said, scrappy. And honestly, I'll take scrappy over 6 degrees any day. Scrappy will get her done.
And there's so much opportunity right now, Dave, for somebody who's scrappy. So, Matt, look, I'd look at people-based work. You got those 20-hour block. You got that time of day that you're looking at. So this is just the hunt, as Dave said. But you got limited hours, and you have a limited time during the week. So what are we looking at? People-based work sure would be great. Sales, customer service work. But if it's just good old-fashioned delivery or waiting tables, I would do that.
Yep, exactly. Nick is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I just had a quick question for you guys. So we have an opportunity, me and my wife, to buy a house. But the problem is that it's $1 million house, but it has 2 rental properties inside the house that would bring in around $5,000 a month. And so the mortgage would only be around $4,000 a month, and we could make potentially around $5,000. Do you think that would be a smart decision to do to buy that house?
Not if you're dependent on the rent to pay the bill.
Okay, because
let me tell you what. Just I don't know where you were in the last 3 years, but in some areas, rent you couldn't evict someone for not paying for 6 months because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
During which time you would have been foreclosed on, sir.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is that
you drove right past that and didn't hear a dadgum thing I said.
I did, but I'm just curious because I don't know, we feel pressured to do it from certain people, but we're kind of hesitant. The thing is, though, is that it's not like a typical rental. It's Airbnbs, and they have a 3-year.
That's even worse.
3-year track history where they're bringing in.
That's even worse because now we've got cities passing laws not allowing Airbnb because they're in violation of zoning.
Okay.
Why were you hesitant? You just nailed the whole thing. You're feeling pressure from some people that you and your wife respect big time. They have a lot of influence over you, and yet you're hesitant. What are you hesitant about?
Just hesitant because it seems like a good opportunity, but also don't know if we can make it work.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more risk here than the people pressuring you have any concept of.
That's right.
They don't know what the flip they're talking about. So no, I'm not going to tell you to do this deal based on this. I think you're going to get yourself in trouble. And on top of that, you're living in a house with other people. Ugh. Kind of defeats the purpose, man. If I wanted to live in a hotel, I'd buy a hotel. Ugh. No, thank you. Just, all in the name of I can make a buck. All in the name of all real estate's a good investment. All real estate's not a good investment. Real estate is a good investment. All education is not a good investment. Education is a good investment. But there are stupid forms of real estate and stupid forms of education. I mean, you can get a degree in German polka history or medieval left-handed puppetry, but that doesn't mean you're going to end up being anything but a barista. And that's stupid education. And when you buy real estate leveraged up to your eyeballs and you say, well, the renters are going to pay the rent, that's stupid. Because I've had renters for 30 years. Let me just tell you, some of them don't pay sometimes. Mm-hmm. They go in Chapter 13 bankruptcy. There's a pandemic moratorium on evictions, and you're sitting on them. And, it had nothing to do with the pandemic. They just chose to not pay because the government told them they could. And then when you do finally get them out, can you tell I'm bitter?
Well, you got to beware of the influence trap. What you just heard, folks, happens to all of us at some point in our lives if we're not careful. And people that we respect and love dearly.
That are stupid.
Yes, but yet they tell us it's a good idea. And something in our guts, this young man, he said, we're hesitant about it. He didn't feel right about it, but the influence of people who have no idea what they're talking about makes him think, well, gee whiz, they said it's a good idea. Maybe I should consider it. Thankfully, he called the show today.
Yeah, read some articles about what's happening to Airbnb politically in a whole bunch of markets. They're getting their face smacked, man, and their hands and everything else smacked. And so you can read, you build your whole pro forma based on Airbnb performance, you can really get yourself in a crack, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Well, Ken, one thing people are talking about every day right now is the real estate market. Interest rates are going up. House prices have gone up dramatically in the last 3 years. Is the market going to crash? Is it a bubble? Is it going to correct? Should I buy a home? Should I build a home? Should I put my home up for sale? Should I use a real estate agent? Yeah, well, let me help you with this. I've got some really distinct pieces of data, and we're going to share those with you on a free live stream on July the 14th. We're announcing it today. The Real Estate Reality Check. It is a live stream, a free live stream event. It's going to go about an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and me. And we're going to be unpacking actual data about demand, about inventory, about inflation, about recession, about interest rates, and historical timelines looking back past things like 2008. And what conclusions can we logically draw from that? Because some of you are completely freaked out and your brains have shut down and you've lost your critical thinking skills because you're panicked and you're freaking out. You decided because Biden couldn't ride a bicycle while it's sitting still that you think he's going to crash the economy. And you're not right. I mean, he's not got the ability to crash the economy in and of himself. He can't do it. And so I'm going to walk you through what's really going on with these things. We're going to talk about it. We're going to answer every one of your questions. But let me just tell you, some of you, this is your first economic troubled time that you've lived in as an adult. If you're in your 20s, you were a baby child in 2008. You were wearing short pants, okay? Seriously. So this is your first one, and it'll melt your brain the first time you get into this. I remember being in my 20s, and I was 22 years old in 1982.
Wow.
When Reagan came into office, Carter went out of office, fixed rates were 17% on houses. And everyone around me and everyone I knew, the discussion in all the coffee shops and at every water cooler is that monetary policy had destroyed America, and we were driving 55 miles an hour. So Hagar says, well, I can't drive 55, right?
Yes.
And so because we were trying to save on gas, because there's gas lines around the block, because the cartels, the OPEC cartel, had shut down the supply of energy to the United States. And gas prices went through the roof, and there were shortages. These were the uncertain economic times of my 20s.
Gas lines, Dave.
Yeah, to get around the block.
Yeah.
To around the block, you'd have to sit in an hour and a half in a line to get gas. And you burn up half your gas getting gas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real productive. And so, that was my first one, and I freaked out. So I'm telling you, this is going to be exciting. I like these things. These turbulent times are when champions are made, and I'm going to help you be a champion in the middle of this. We teach you to build wealth in up times and in down times. We can show you how to do it. So is this the 2008 recession? Nope. Is it the same housing market as in? Nope. And that's not based on a feeling or Dave's old and he lost his way and he doesn't have a good opinion. It's based on data, stupid. Data. And we're actually going to unpack data for you on July 14th. You can sign up for this, RamseySolutions.com/reality check. It's the real estate reality check. It's a free live stream on July the 14th with George Campbell, Rachel Cruz, and I. Spoiler alert, housing prices are not going down. So, RamseySolutions.com/reality check. Real estate market's not going to crash. Spoiler alert. But I'm going to actually prove it to you instead of your broke friends all sitting around smoking pot and discussing this. Okay? And so let's actually go through what's really happening, what the actual data says, and not somebody living in their mother's basement writing a blog on finance. Okay? This is what is really happening. The real estate reality check, RamseySolutions.com/reality check, completely free. We're not going to charge you a dime.
Dave, are you going to have a bicycle on stage and kind of use it as a prop? Don't fall off the bike.
Just ride up there and fall over.
Like Joe? Dave, his foot got caught in the stirrup, Dave.
I know. It's happened to me, but I wasn't the 80-year-old president of the United States when it happened to me. So nobody gave a crap, right? I just was a klutz and fell over.
I just think the metaphor for don't fall off the bike is great for that event. We'll talk to the live events team. We'll see if
we can make that the byline. Real estate reality check. Don't fall off the bike while it's sitting still. Okay, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just too good, James.
It's an underhand pitch. I mean, come on.
It was right there for you.
You know, if you're him, okay, if that's me, I know as soon as my knee hits the pavement, I know from then on I'm a meme for the rest of my life.
Question.
The rest of your life. You know. Yeah. Because I do stuff like that. I get caught and doing something stupid or something klutzy, and they turn it into a Dave Ramsey meme. Yeah. I'm famous on TikTok for stupid butt stuff I've done, so, it's okay. Yeah. It's all right. You got to be famous for something, right?
I felt terrible. It's a horrible metaphor, Just the whole thing was just unfortunate. This is the only way to describe it.
I'm just saying, if you're 80 years old and you're president of the United States, you probably shouldn't be riding a bike.
I think that's probably true.
But I do stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing at 62, so leave me alone.
Yeah.
Shut up. What happens is this. Your body gets old, but your mind, well, most of the time your mind doesn't anyway.
Dave, there's no redeeming the whole situation.
We're going to go down. We're never going to get out of this. Help me, Vicky in San Francisco. How can we help you? Get me out of this mess. What's up?
Hi there, Mr. Ramsey. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you.
So I'm a college student, and I've been saving since I was a little girl, and I've been watching your show now for around a year, so I decided to open my Roth IRA, I think a year ago, when I was 18.
Wow.
And I was just wondering if you have any advice for me on what I could do with the money that I saved, if I should just kind of take all my money and put it into savings, or if I should put the majority of it into investing.
You're in college.
Yes.
And you're studying what?
Math.
Okay. Good for you. What are you going to do?
I'd like to be a math teacher or a kindergarten teacher.
Okay. So you are making an investment in Vicky. And the investment you're making is you're writing a check for college tuition and you're going to school, right?
Right.
Vicky is the best investment you can make for the next 4 years. You will get a greater rate of return on good education that you actually use than you will on mutual funds. And so I want to ensure that you graduate from college debt-free. So I want you to pile up as much cash as you can possibly pile up and graduate from college debt-free. And then I would worry about, and only then, would I worry about beginning your investment journey. But girl, you are on it, and I'm proud of you. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ryan is in Phoenix. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, my sister and her husband, they're having some marriage troubles, and she's moved into our house just for a couple of days because of some arguments over finance. He wants to make a Dungeons and Dragons man cave and take out a $20,000 home equity
Wait a minute,
loan.
that's an oxymoron. That is not a man cave. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Well played.
Yeah.
How old is this boy?
He's in his 20s, upper 20s.
Wow. Wow. Okay. He wants to take out he wants a Dungeons and Dragons man cave, and so what? And he's wanting to spend money she doesn't want to spend. Is that it?
Yeah, so she would have to sign on with the home equity loan.
Oh, he wants to borrow money for it.
Yes, it's to borrow money. It's to take a home equity loan for it.
And how much are we going to spend on said cave?
They're looking to do a $20,000 loan.
Wow. That's quite a dungeon, and it must have real dragons.
I think it does.
certainly one that moves and maybe breathes some smoke for that kind of money. Wow.
He's got some big visions. But the problem here is it's really driving a wedge between them and their marriage, and I need some help. So she's living with me right now. I need some help in knowing how I can help guide them, give them some good advice in what they're doing so they can get through this.
So what kind of income, what kind of household income do they have?
They've got to be around $50K a year.
Okay. All right. So as much as I want to make fun of it, I'll sidestep that for a second because it's too easy. But
I can understand that.
But let's just say that virtually anything you want to do that's legal and moral with money, I'm fine with. It's your money, okay? Right. So if you want to build a Dungeons and Dragons man cave, it's not probably on the list of things that'll happen in my lifetime for me, but that's okay. If you want to do that, that's all right. And but the trick would be a couple things. You would have to use. You'd have to have several basic principles that you followed, okay? So whether it's, in my case, my version of that is I own too many firearms, okay? An absurd number, just because I'm a collector, okay? And so that's the same, that's just as stupid to some people as this is to other people, right? So same thing. But in that case, so here's what would have to happen. I would need to pay cash, number one. If I can't pay cash for my absurd hobbies, Mine is guns, his is this, okay? Then you don't do it. It's out of range. Okay. Number two, it needs to be, when I'm done with the whole thing, a small percentage of my net worth and income. So in other words, if I make $30,000 a year and I have $400,000 worth of firearms, that's asinine.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That totally makes sense.
And so it needs to be a small percentage of your world, because it is a hobby for fun by definition. And when your fun takes up too much of your life, it no longer is fun when you're like a grown-up and stuff. Okay.
Right.
So one, we're going to pay cash. Two, it needs to be a small percentage. And three, here's the hard one here. And this is where the rubber meets the road on this one, even more than the other two. I can't put my selfish desires in front of the needs and wants of my family.
Right.
And so in my case, I'm using my firearms as the absurd thing. If I am doing that and my wife doesn't have a good car, well, that's a little boy wanting to collect hunting guns or collect guns, okay? And I'm putting my desires ahead of the good of my overall family. My children's college fund isn't funded, but I bought a new gun. That's a child, not a man. That's a child, not a woman. When she puts a $6,000 purse on the shelf and her children's college fund isn't funded, that's a child. And ain't no coach in the world worth that if your kid isn't going to school. Okay, so that's where the problem is here. All three of these are violated in this case. And it has nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons or the weirdness of all that. It has everything to do with A, he's borrowing money, B, he can't afford it, and C, the big deal for me is, if I'm her brother, if I'm you, is that he is putting his little selfish wants ahead of the needs of his own wife.
And I think that's how we've been seeing it too. You know, it does seem childish, but the problem is I mean, we have problems in the past with it and everything with those two, but it's hard to get them on the same page. You know, it's just
because they're immature.
Right. I mean, she's put her foot down. She's got him out of credit card debt.
She married him, so she's immature.
Yeah. There you go.
Because he's immature beyond belief, emotionally. Right. He's a little baby boy that wants his little thing, and he's having a little fit, and that puts her in the seat of mommy instead of the seat of wife.
Gratification. Yeah, it is. So
what they need, what they desperately need, is not financial counseling. They need marriage counseling.
Right.
And
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. And so if you want to pay for something, don't pay for Financial Peace University. It won't help them.
Okay.
Pay for marriage counseling. Get them in with a good pastor, a good marriage counselor that can help these two grow up. But when she married this guy, she knew he was weird.
Yeah, I think it went pretty quick, and then it just they got into it. So yeah.
Doesn't matter. Listen, I've gotten into some things. I've gotten into some things really quick too. And when I was an immature little baby child, I put my selfish desires in front of my wife's. And we've been married 40 years, and she says we've had 33 good years of marriage. And it was the years where I put my selfish desires in front of her that she's laughing about. They're not fun. They're funny now. They weren't funny back then. Hopefully someday they can heal their marriage, and both of them emotionally mature in this process, and they can look back and laugh at the absurdity of we almost lost our marriage over a Dungeons and Dragons man cave. I mean, that really 30 years later has got to be funny. I'm just saying.
It's funny it's almost funny right now, honestly. I mean, we've laughed and it's laughing, and then you think, wait a second, this is for real.
Yeah. And it's causing a divorce. Oh my gosh. I mean, she had to move out.
Yeah, it got bad, but hopefully
you might have a problem with your hobby if ... right?
Yeah. When they get on the same page as a married couple, then the finances can get on the same page. But Dave is absolutely right. This is a full alarm marriage issue. It's got to be dealt with. Then the money can take the next priority piece. But right now, there's bigger issues going on here.
So here's a way to meet him Okay. I don't have, I would tell her to tell him this. I don't have a problem with you building a man cave.
Right.
I do have a problem with your putting your needs or your selfish self in front of the good of our family and our marriage. I do have a problem with borrowing money to do it. And I do have a problem with spending money that is an excessive amount considering our current financial state. And but if we can get all of those things straightened out, and you want to build a man cave someday that with cash, and that is a small percentage of our world, even if I don't understand the whole thing, we can do that.
Right.
But in other words, it's not no, it's not now. I'm not using these principles.
Right.
But,
right. And I think you're right. It does come down to just changing, and that's through Christ. So keep them in your prayers, and we'll keep them in ours.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And if you can get them in with a good pastor, this may be the thing that creates a whole spiritual movement in their marriage that facilitates the emotional maturity. That helps cause it to grow up. Because one thing about a powerful spiritual walk is one of the things it'll always teach you is to not be so dadgum selfish and self-centered. And it's the main problem with every marriage, by the way, including Ken's.
Hey, let's go to commercial, shall we?
And mine. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jacob and Megan are with us in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and it says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Well done. How much have you paid off?
Paid off $67,000, 11 months.
All right. And your range of income during that time?
Just during that time, it was $60,000.
Okay, cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I am a contractor.
And I'm a records clerk at my local courthouse.
Cool. What kind of debt was the $67,000?
It was our house.
Way to go! All right, so where'd you get the money? Because you didn't even make that much during that time.
Well, if you want to hear the whole story, it was truly $130,000 over 8 years. $20,000 was about consumer debt, and so we just followed the baby steps that whole time. So this last 11 months, $29,000 came out of savings, $29,000 was cash flow, and $9,000 was from the government stimulus checks.
Ah, okay. All right. Cool.
And so we had a big emergency fund, and
too big.
It was too big.
So you didn't clean it out. You just reduced it.
No, we just reduced it. But it was the reason we went that had such a big one is I had started a business, and frankly, I was just nervous. Didn't know if I could make it happen. So we stocked it up a little bit, and then 11 months ago, we got a note from our lender saying they're calling the note.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah.
That lit a fire under us like you would not believe. We looked at our banker and said, we'll be back in under a year. You wait and see. We're paying this off.
Yeah, and we'll never be back in here again, and we will close all our accounts with you, you twerp. Why'd they call your note?
So the bank got bought out. We had it under a local bank, and they got bought out. When we went in and saw the banker, he said, "Oh, no, you don't need to worry about it. We just wanted to make sure you guys are still in a good spot." And that we were just done with it.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I don't think so. We just wanted to panic you and make sure you were okay, which reminds you why you don't want these twerps in your life, right?
Exactly.
Man, that pisses me off just hearing it. They went in my house.
It's like a headphone.
Wow. Way to go, guys. Good for y'all. So, yeah, you're just roll up your sleeves and say, done with this, knocking it out. Boom. What's the house worth?
Probably right around 180, 200, somewhere in there.
Cool. What kind of business did you open?
Construction.
Oh, yeah. Good. Good for you guys. So you're 100% debt-free. You're weirdos.
Yeah.
Yes. Successfully cash flowed that business for 4 years. Like, I'm super proud of my husband and where we are as a family.
Yeah, you ought to be. You're in a really strong position. I mean, you're going up and to the right this time, baby. You're ready to go, right?
Oh, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, way to go. All right, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
It's just being intentional. Megan and I, we've reflected a lot on our journey the last 8.5 years, and we cleaned out that first $20,000 in debt pretty quick, and then we started working through all the other steps and building things up. But we know where we want to go. We know where we want our life to be, how we want to live in retirement, and so we were just very intentional on how we got there.
And we involved our kids. I think a big part of it is making sure your four walls are good. And when your kids see you working towards a goal and you're grocery shopping together and sticking with a budget, it's very, very important. We want to raise successful little people to grow up to be successful and smart adults. So you just got to be intentional, and you got to be really close with the members of your family.
Oh, I love that. What was one of the sacrifices maybe the kids were a part of, or that you all were a part of in this journey, where it hurt at the time, but you knew it was good, and they got to see that real sacrifice, some real pain there for something that was much bigger?
So I'll let Megan answer this one, because it was what she did the last 11 months while we were getting out of it, because we put everything towards the house, and she decided to take a second job so that we could have a little fun money too.
Yep. So we stuck with our budget. I was working as just an office clerk for a John Deere dealership, so working 30 hours a week, and we were pushing all of that on top of the construction money to pay off the loan. And I started working at a gas station, picking up shifts here and there, and working on the weekends. And, oh, Mom, we want to spend time with you. I'm like, well, I can either keep this job and you guys continue, to have your golf lessons and swimming and all of that, or I can stay home and we just have to sacrifice, different extras that we have. And so they understood, and they did cut back some things over the summer, but they also realized we were working towards a goal. So after begging for 3 years, once we paid the house off, my husband surprised them with a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, they had to wait 3 years for it, but by golly, they were deserving too. They sacrificed a lot with us. So it was truly a family effort. I'm really proud of our kids.
Yeah, very good. Good job, you guys. Great job. Well done. How's it feel to be 100% free?
Amazing. Like the example, I have people coming up to me, I heard what you guys did, congratulations, and we're hoping to be able to start teaching financial peace, because it's really made an impact, I think, in people that we know from our community. So.
Well, thank you. We hope you do. You could be a great coordinator for this, without a doubt. And have you been able to resist the urge to go dance on that banker's desk?
What was funny is when we brought him personally the last check. And I think Megan sent some pictures in, and he was the one who took a picture of us with the...
holding our deed.
Yep. And he told us when we left, he's like, all right, well, next time you guys want to borrow some money against the house or something, just come see me and we'll get you hooked up. And just
hooked up
no.
is right. Like a bass. Oh my gosh, hooked up like a fish. Unbelievable. Well, you guys are awesome. That's funny. That's great. They never learn, do they? They're just something that, yeah. All right. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. Without a doubt, that's the direction you're going. How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth. How you can too. Another copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give it away to somebody, and a 1-year subscription to Financial Peace University and Ramsey Plus. And again, you can probably give that to somebody when you start teaching the class there in your area. So thank you guys so much. I'm so proud of you. You're heroes. Well done.
Thank you.
Jacob and Megan in Cheyenne, Wyoming, $67,000 paid off in 11 months, making $60,000. That's cleaning out savings, cleaning out everything, making this happen. Get rid of the old banker with a note call. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
I love it. Yeah, Ken, that's how this whole Ramsey thing was born, was a banker calling a note on me. And started a crash, only as a little bit bigger note, $1.2 million. But, yeah. And I hadn't lost a dime. I hadn't been late a lick, but same exact thing. Bank got sold to another bank out of town, and some duber in another city looks down and says, this guy, even though he's never been late, even though he's never lost money on a deal, we need to limit this relationship. And so they sent me one of those exact same things in the mail. And the only difference is I wasn't able to pay it all off within that period of time, and it started to crash, and I spent 2.5 years of my life losing everything we owned, ended up in bankruptcy because of that exact scenario. But it taught me beautifully. I'll never be there again. And you know what? That banker trying to loan them money is funny, because they'll never go back in there. Yeah, a friend of mine in the music business got a big royalty check, went in and paid his thing off at Farm Bureau, and they said, well, we'll see you. And he said, yeah. I ain't coming back in here. This is the Ramsey Show. Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Lou is in Phoenix. Hi, Lou. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Okay. Well, I'm calling because I'm at a kind of a crossroads, and I want to be really strategic because I have, like, I'm older. I'm 56, and I don't have a lot of time left for, my working career. And I'm divorced. And unfortunately, I don't have a huge 401k. I'm renting, and I just got notice my rent's going up $300. And so I've been hearing, I know what you're going to say, but, I have like $7,900 left in debt. It should be paid off by March 2023.
What do you make?
$60,000. But I just don't know what to do. I have people, my friends, and everything.
I'm sorry. Why does it take 12 months to pay off $7,000 when you make 60?
Well, I have to take. I have my. I take 3% from my 401k, and then I have to.
I'm sorry. Say what?
I put 3% away for my 401k, of my income.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I have my HSA that I've been putting like 125 per pay period.
Mm-hmm.
It's every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Stop both those. Stop both of those.
Stop both of those. Okay.
Here's what's happening with you, okay? And it happens with most people. You're trying to do a little bit of everything that's smart and nothing's moving.
Okay.
You're trying to $100 into one thing, $300 into another thing, and you're nickel and diming, and you got no focus at all to the math. It's all spread out. And when light dispersed simply lights the room, light focused is a laser you can do surgery with.
Okay.
And you're dispersing all of your financial energies across a whole bunch of things and not moving the needle on any of them.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's why we teach the baby steps. Do you have any money in savings that's not retirement?
Well, I have that $1,000. Actually, I have $1,200 for my emergency fund because I'm trying to, follow the steps. But like I said, my rent's going up $300, and it's just
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I would tell you to do. What do you do for a living?
I work in. I do loans, legal documents for commercial banking.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. I would tell you 2 or 3 things if you were my little sister and you'd be about the age of my little sister. Okay. I would tell you let's do the baby steps exactly like you were a Pharisee about them. Okay. And that means $1,000, not $1,200. It means you stop putting money in HSA, you stop putting money in retirement, and you get on a really tight beans and rice and beans budget, and we knock out this debt in 6 months or 4 months, not in 12.
Okay.
And then we get the emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then we start saving aggressively to buy a house. And I think if you do all of that plus one more thing I'm going to tell you, that you're probably buying a house by Christmas of 23, 18 months. Okay. But I mean, I'm going to put you on beans and rice, girl. You're spending money right now. You don't have a lot of money. I'm not saying you're crazy and out of control or something, but you're going to find money when you make this. Pretend like you had a health problem, and if you didn't save up $15,000 to pay for the medical bill, you were going to die.
Okay.
That kind of thing. I mean, like that kind of intensity. Like I ain't doing nothing. Okay, you don't need to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. And don't you talk to me about a vacation. We're trying to get a house.
Exactly. I totally hear you. Yeah.
You sell so much stuff, the kids think they're next. Put the cat on eBay and the dog on Craigslist.
Okay.
I'm kidding, not really, but maybe not about the cat. And then the other thing I'm going to tell you is, with Ken Coleman's going to help you with this. Other thing I'm going to tell you is, I want you to start thinking about what you can do to make more money. Not only in the short term, take an extra job and work your butt off, but also in the long term. What career moves can Ken Coleman help you make to go make $80,000 or $90,000 and change your whole life? Like you said, you got a decade or so left to work. Let's go make some money and put it away so we can retire with dignity. Ken?
Yeah, I want you to do a little exercise. And I want you to, after you do this exercise, I want you to run it by 3 or 4 people that you really know well and that you respect their opinion. Here's the exercise. I want you to write down your working life. I want you to write down all of the experience that you have that is really relevant to just about any industry. And what I mean by that is you're very detail-oriented, process-oriented in the type of work you do now. True or false?
Yeah, true. Very true.
Okay, good. So I want you to just think of all of that valuable experience and just get it out of your head and write it down. Could be a list of 5 things, could be 15, could be 50. And then I want you to focus on what you do really, really well, where you're talented. These could be people skills, could be some technical skills as well. I want you to get that out on paper. So experience on one column and talent on the other. And that's going to show you what you have to offer, to this marketplace. And we are in a job economy right now, certainly where you are, where you have a lot to offer. And I want you to be able to see yourself a little bit differently. Run that list by some people and go, hey, based on this list of experience that I bring to the table and talent I bring to the table, what ideas do you have? Let other people who aren't kind of in your world, they're in their world, they see it objectively, let them give you some ideas. This is a brainstorming exercise, is what I've just given you, okay? Now you're going to see opportunities that you haven't seen before, okay? And then I want you to, we're going to give you, when we put you on hold, we're going to give you my Get Clear career assessment. Take you about 20 minutes. And I want you to take that after you do that first homework assignment. And you're going to begin to see yourself and see some real purpose and some opportunities that you've never seen before. Go put yourself out there. Side hustle for sure, but can you transition? Can you pivot?
Find something you think you could get and go interview that makes 80.
Right now. And let's get a big bump. And let's just see what we can make. Can we make 80 or 90,000? What would it take to get to six figures? You got a decade to where you can really stack up some money and get out of this debt-free journey pretty quickly just on where you are. But let's juice it with some more income.
Yeah, you can ask yourself what Henry Cloud talks about, your desired future. Okay, this is my desired future. And then you ask yourself, okay, what has to be true for me to be there that's not true today? That may mean I need to take a class. That may mean I need to put myself out there and go interview. It may mean you can walk right in there and get it, but you just hadn't bothered. Because what happens is sometimes we get out of a fear of rejection, or because if somebody doesn't hire you, that's very personal.
That's right.
Out of a fear of rejection, we can kind of get stuck. And go, well, I'm just gonna ride this thing out. I'm just gonna ride this horse on out. He'll take me home, but he's not very fast, but he'll get me home.
I'll tell you something else that happens, and it may be happening in Lou's case, but what we focus on is what we see. So neuroscience did all this study decades ago and found that we have this thing in our brain called the reticular activating system. Very fancy word. Here's what it means. For all of you that have ever bought a car, you remember seeing that car everywhere for the 4 or 5 days after you bought it. It's pretty remarkable. It's like, oh, there's our car. And did the gods of cars just drop that car into your world? No. What happens is they've proven that what we focus on is what we see everywhere. So if you have victim type thinking, you start feeling attacked everywhere you go.
And she doesn't sound like a victim.
No. But the idea is what we focus on is what we see. So if you
focus on opportunity.
Right, but if you
upgrades.
if you go, I only got a decade left, there's not a lot of opportunity out there for me, then we see that everywhere. So if we switch it and we go, wait a second, I've got a decade and a half, of real worth and work that I can do, then we begin to see opportunities that were sitting in front of us the entire time. That's the idea. What we focus on, our brain goes out and takes pictures of it and gives us evidence of it. So when we change what we focus on and what we think, we begin to see things we've never seen before, and that's what this exercise that I gave her, that'll help her to begin to see herself differently than maybe she's ever seen herself before.
What's the old Earl Nightingale from the 60s. He said,
classic.
What you can conceive and believe. Conceive it, you can see it in your mind, you can conceive it. And believe it can be true, you can achieve.
Great words.
Hopefully you're not delusional. And so hopefully what you're conceiving is actual. And, what you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And we're not talking about the American Idol dropouts here, okay? You actually know how to sing, and you can conceive and believe it. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us at Open Phones, 888-825-5225. Dustin is on the line in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Dustin. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for taking my call, you guys.
Sure. What's up?
So I got the situation, and I'm wondering if I should be backpedaling or how to adjust myself to get myself probably where I should be versus where I am. I have a commercial property. I have no consumer debt, other than these two properties, and I have a commercial property that I owe I owe $250 on. It's worth about $800. Brings in about $4,300 a month, and I also have a little residential rental that I owe $350 on, and is worth $425. That one brings in about $1,800, and my income with my job is about $80,000, and right now we rent, and it's $750 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm just wondering if I should maybe sell one of these, or like I'm saying, I just want to know if I should be backpedaling a little to do this in a more appropriate way. Now listening to you so much,
Well, if you've been listening a bunch, I love real estate. And so whatever move you can make gradually or select your timing if you want to.
Okay.
But I will tell you the data that we have of working with millionaires and studying millionaires says they have a paid-for home, and any real estate that they own is paid for. Now, they didn't start there necessarily like I would teach, but that's eventually where they got to. And so, like you said, can I make some moves to get that direction? Why are you renting?
I was given an opportunity, and I'll call it that, even though I'm paying rent, with a extremely wealthy person who had a home that accommodated my family a little bit more than where we were, and reasonable rent rate versus the value there. I would not be able to duplicate even buying it, from where I was coming from. And so we're doing that, and she's grateful that we're there, and I'm taking care of this property. So it's just kind of like a win-win for both of us. And I just figured that $750 a month would allow me to be able to kind of push more into this, because ideally, I think my long-term thing is to be kind of landlord, property management. Right now I work for an excavation company, so almost, different end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
And,
so the house the other house that's a rental, was that your personal residence?
It was not. No.
So you sold it?
I had actually sold it. That's the thing. I had the paid for home, which I had bought and then fixed and flipped, and it was paid for. But then, like I said, this opportunity came up to go into this rental, and I thought maybe that would be a good place for us to kind of move into and then focus on trying to get this other ball rolling. But then realizing I probably should have done it where I paid for everything.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yeah, that's okay. So here's where I want you to be in 5 years.
Okay.
Living in your own residence that you paid cash for.
Okay.
Or paid off. Okay. And all the other real estate that you own is paid for. Okay. If I were in your shoes, that's where I would want to be in 5 years. Now, what incremental steps get us there? Most likely, and you got a weird situation with this rental, you can leverage that some, stay there a little while. I mean, so you could hypothetically sell the other house and then work on paying off the commercial property, and then work on piling up some cash right quick to pay cash for your residence. Because I know this. How old are you today?
33.
Yeah, so when you're 80, you don't want to be renting from a rich lady.
No.
Yeah, so you want to have some kind of a plan. That's what I'm thinking about here, to move away from that. For a little while, that's an okay play. But for
even the mental state it gives you of owning, it's just the pride and ownership. I put it into the rental, but you just don't feel the same.
And by the way, when it goes up in value, she wins, you don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's the other reason I want you to be the owner of your residence. But I mean, I'm not panicked about it. Like you have to just, like you did something stupid and you need to jump around and thrash around, do something real fast. But I would say, okay, what are the steps I'm going to take? Am I going to buy a property first that I live in? Am I going to sell this other property and pay the commercial off? The commercial feels like it's under rented.
Slightly.
Yeah, the rate of return on $800,000 with $4,300 is not enough.
Well, I bought it for $415.
I don't care. It's what it's worth today is what it should be rented based on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm too generous, I guess, in that sense.
Well, that's not generous. That's just bad business. Generous is I gave money to charity. Not I gave it to a tenant.
To a business.
Yeah.
Profit making business.
So we're not trying to be a hawk and be greedy or rub somebody's nose in something, but we keep our rents at market on our rental properties because our job is to manage them well. And like you said, you want to be a landlord later instead of being in the excavation business. So you're going to learn to do that. So, yeah, you got some lease renewal discussions to happen on this commercial property, and then you got to decide, okay, what are my next steps with this other property? I'm going to sell it, throw it at the commercial. I'm going to sell it and use it to buy into my new residence and then get my residence paid off and then get the commercial paid off. What process are you going to use to where 5 years from today, whatever you own and wherever you live you own is debt-free 100%. But by giving you the 5-year mark, that's not to let you off the hook of doing something. It's to say you can do this gradually.
Yeah, I think it's the right target. You look at both of these, the commercial or the residential. I was just curious, if you're in his shoes, which one do you tend to lean toward? He's got his own timeline, but I'm looking at that to go, I'm selling one of those to fast forward this plan.
If I can get the rents on the commercial to where it's a reasonable rate of return based on the value, then I'm keeping it. It's going to be easier to manage. It's a bigger piece of property. It's going to go up in value.
Right.
And so I prefer commercial because of that. But I've got a bunch of houses too. Mm-hmm. And so as your portfolio of real estate grows, houses start to be a smaller portion of it usually. But he's sitting on this thing, so I'm going to move out of that house in terms of which one I would sell personally.
Sure.
But I don't care. Which one do you want to own?
That's right.
I mean, it's your deal. So the point is, none of them are in the dumb column. Let's just make sure we're getting the most rent we can out of every one of them, and let's get this ball moving in the right direction. So lay out a game plan and say, okay, 6 months from now, here's what we're going to do. 18 months from now, here's what we're going to do. 24 months from now, here's what we're going to do. And here are the steps. And based on that, I'm going to start making these moves, given this real estate market, and great real estate market, by the way, in your area. Phoenix is just hotter than a firecracker, no pun intended. This is The Ramsey Show. Talking about the real estate market and how hot it is right now. We are doing on July the 14th a live stream about the real estate market. Everybody's upset about it. Everybody's scared about it. Everybody's excited about it. Everybody's talking about it. So we think we should do the same. So we're going to do that. It's called the Real Estate Reality Check. We launched it today. The live stream is free. Yeah, you heard me. Free. We're not charging for it. So George Camel, Rachel Cruz, and I will unpack everything for you about prices going down. Is the housing market going to crash? Is this a reboot of the 2008 recession? Are you going to see something similar? What about inflation? What about recession? What about my house price? Should I wait for house prices to go down to buy? Spoiler alert, no. And here's the thing. We're not going to participate in the fear porn of the news networks. We're just going to give you the actual facts, and we'll do it in line with historical perspective, which is the only way you can analyze these trends properly. You cannot analyze them when you put your hand up so close in front of your face that you can't see. You have to back out, pan back, zoom out until you get a full view of what's really going on, and then you go, oh, in light of that, I don't have to be so scared. Real Estate Reality Check. Have your friends that think we're going to hell in a handbasket watch. This is free because we're not. RamseySolutions.com/reality check. RamseySolutions.com/reality reality check. Also, something else going on around here, Dr. John Deloney's we've got new versions of the Questions for Humans. These conversation starter card packs are amazing. We've sold about 50,000 of these things. It's crazy. It's awesome. I'm so excited. I didn't think it would be this big, but it's huge. You guys are buying these conversation cards like crazy. People don't know how to talk to each other, and this is a way to get the conversation started. Now we've got 4 new types: a girls' night pack, a guys' night pack, a dating for people who are dating, parents and teens, and a workplace edition. Questions for Human cards are now at RamseySolutions.com, brand new set. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings, free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. Use the promo code RAMSEY.
Today's question comes from Rita in New Jersey. I am a Java programmer. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
I feel like that was a little above my pay grade.
No, you did it.
Yeah, there it is. And I've been with the same company for almost 10 years. I earn $96,000 with bonuses. I recently realized that my salary is low for my experience and education. Other companies are offering an average of $130,000. I want to look for another job, but I'm not sure this is the right time. My husband and I are hoping to have a second child sooner than later. My husband is also starting a new job this month, and I'm afraid it may be too late for me to make this change since I'm in my late 30s.
Oh, God, you're about to die any minute.
Yeah, there's a pattern
late 30s.
here.
How do you make it? A wheelchair, it'll hold you back.
That's right. We have a year's worth of money saved, which would help with the risk of taking a new job.
Why is there risk?
And she finishes with, should I look for other opportunities at this stage of my life? So 3 times now we've heard it may be too late since I'm in my late 30s at this stage of my life. So a lot of fear over something, Rita, that you don't need to be afraid of. First of all, you're in your prime. So there's nothing about being too late. You are absolutely in your prime, your most marketable time over the next decade and a half. So I don't know what you're afraid of other than rejection. And it's normal when we take on change, which is the unknown. And so what you have to do is just focus on what you know, that you can get as much as $130,000 according to your research, which is a significant bump. It's $34,000 in bump based on what you do, your experience, and your talent. So I would go for it. You never know when the baby's coming or not. And so I wouldn't wait. I would take the opportunity now to move up in income and give yourself a ladder financially.
Now
the fear is, you've said it's about being in your late 30s, and that's an excuse. You're afraid to put yourself out there, and so what we do is we manufacture some real excuses so that we can feel better about pausing or holding off, and
now,
it's a crutch.
Rita, when you take the new job, before you take it, I want you to make very sure that the quality of people inside the company is excellent, that these are good humans and you want to be with them every day because you're going to spend a lot of time with them. And so you don't want to get more money but go into a toxic cesspool of humanity. And that can happen. And programmers sometimes forget to understand the quality of culture that you're working in matters. The other thing you don't want to do is, if you're working 40 hours a week now, you don't want to go to a place that expects you to work 80 hours a week. And so you need to have real clarity on the culture of the organization, the quality of the humans you're going to be around, and what the work hour expectation is. And one more thing, we want to be comfortable that this company you're going to work for is not some startup and they're running it out of their back pocket and they're about to go broke any minute, but they pay a lot today. But they're not going to live through next Friday. Okay, so if they're financially stable, it's a solid company, and they've got really good people and a really good environment, and you move up, there is nothing to fear in the change. And if you move up $30,000, $40,000 in income, that's nothing to fear at all. You wouldn't worry about that at all. That's like saying I drive a $500 pickup, and I have the opportunity to go buy a $35,000 paid cash, brand new Ford F-150 loaded to the max. And which you probably can't get for $35,000. But anyway, but whatever. You go get a much nicer car. People don't dread change when it's better.
That's right. And so
when it's an upgrade.
That's right. And to your point, you have to look into it. You have to put yourself out there and discover, what's out there. Is it a healthy culture? And now do it.
And Ken, I'm seeing this with people in the marketplace now with so much change in the job. The Great Resignation, people moving to other places and working. And I've seen it with friends, and I've actually seen it with people that left Ramsey a time or two. I've seen it with other places, and they didn't do a good analysis of what they were going to.
That's right.
And they get themselves in with a group that they don't like being around, and it's bad people. Mm-hmm. And the only variable that they upgraded in was the money variable, but they lose control of their life. They're working too many hours. They're working for doofuses, and then they regret making the decision. And people fear making a bad decision. But if you do your research, take your time in the interview process, work the process. If you can make $30,000 or $40,000 more in a place with a similar number of hours that's as good or better people, and they're financially stable, yes, you should do that.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And you're absolutely right. We are seeing a lot of people. There's now a term for them called Boomerang Employees. They're looking to come back to companies. And the caution here is that we want you to make more money, and you should be able to make more money. However, as Dave has pointed out, if you chase just a bigger paycheck, that paycheck high wears off if you are in a toxic culture with moron leaders who don't value you. You will not last. You will not last. And you have to look at the entire picture and make sure that you're not leaving just for a bigger paycheck, but for opportunity that's going to make your entire life better.
Yeah, the other thing that's boomeranging is this the person who thought they wanted to work from home.
Yes,
and
very lonely.
They're heading out there. They're lonely, and they found out that, by the way, working from home actually means you also work. Sometimes it's code for I don't want to work much, and so you're working from home. Now you're trying to do computer programming with a 3-year-old screaming, which is really hard to do. By the way,
one other trend,
working
Dave,
from home is not like. It's not like nirvana, and people are discovering this. It's got all kinds of downside.
One other quick trend I want to point out on this point, Dave, is we're seeing that they're not getting promoted as much, out of sight, out of mind. As companies are returning back to the workplace, leaders are going to promote people that they're interacting with a little bit more. We're seeing this in the data, so this is a real risk as well.
Yeah, you take yourself off the market. Wow. Yeah, we're seeing people come back from other jobs that were bad. We're seeing them come back from work from home. They don't come back to Ramsey because we have a policy we don't rehire. We figure the reason you left is the reason you'll screw us and leave again. So, once you're gone, we love you. Go to work somewhere else. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Mike and Brett are with us in Wilmington, North Carolina. I see on my screen you're debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're so excited. We're huge fans.
Well, we're honored. How much have you paid off?
We've paid off $87,000 in a total of 2.5 years.
Good for you. Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
We started at about $76,000 and worked our way up to $95,000.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a hairstylist.
And I'm a warranty supervisor for a new home builder in the area.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Good for you guys. What kind of debt was the $87,000?
Pretty much all your normal stuff. $25,000 in credit card, $15,000 in student loans, $32,000 on a truck, and then another $15,000 on another vehicle we had.
Oh my goodness! How long y'all been married?
8 years.
So what happened? What happened 3 years ago that got you going on this Ramsey stuff?
Well, we got pregnant with our daughter, And we kind of had a health crisis with myself and with her during that time. And then COVID shut us down, and then I was out of my job for a period of time due to the health problem and our daughter's health issues combined with the COVID shutdown. So we really had pretty much of a massive wall that we hit, So luckily, Mike here was able to keep going to work during that time. But that kicked us in gear for sure to align our lives so that we wouldn't fall down like that ever again.
Wow.
For sure.
They just flashed pictures up on YouTube channel of the baby. How little was she when she was born?
She was 2.5 pounds.
Okay.
And she was born with a cleft lip. And so she had some hurdles to get through. She had her first surgery when she was 6 months. And that was about the time I started work back as well. And so now we're happy to say that we're all healthy. And now she is about 23 pounds, and she is just living her best life. She's so happy, and we are too. So we're really happy to be talking to you today in a much better place.
Amen. You guys have been through it. That was quite a journey you've been in the middle of everything else. I mean, COVID, you get the issues with the birth, and on top of that, we got all this pile of debt you got to work through. So y'all been busy.
Yes, we buckled down, and we have not stopped. That's for sure.
Yeah, when I hear stories like this, I just have to ask, were there some days and nights where you thought, well, I don't think we can get through this?
Well, I mean, I don't think Mike cried in front of me. I definitely, I'm kind of a crier, so I had a couple moments, but you have those moments and you wake up the next day and you say, I'm just going to do everything I can do. And you pray about it and you just keep moving forward. And that eventually, it all has come out in the wash, I guess, is the way you could put it. We've been very fortunate with a lot of hard work and a lot of praying, for sure.
Well done. We're proud of you. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is now that you've done it?
Budgeting is, first of all, the best key. Also, you have to be on the same page with your significant other about finances and budgeting as well. As you always say, it's we once you get married and not I, his or hers. We're all together, and that's just the keys.
Yeah, and I want to add, too, that leading up to this, I did have some savings that I had worked for, and I didn't view our finances as ours. I was very used to just being independent and him having his and me having mine. And once I got over the hurdle and saying, okay, we're literally, whatever we bring home goes in the same bucket, that changed a lot, for sure. So I would say just kind of getting in that mentality, you're a team and you're not an individual,
It makes the money issue, the efficiency of your paycheck higher. You get more use of it that way. But the other thing that happens is it forces you to come together in your relationship, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to go, you two. Way to go. We're very, very proud of you. Congratulations. And how's your baby doing now?
She's doing great. We just went on our first paid-for vacation in 3 years. And she had the time of her life, and we were with friends, and we didn't use a credit card the whole time. And she went on water slides, and she laughed, and she played, and she stayed up late and ate all the bad food. And so I'm happy to say she is doing wonderful.
That's
absolutely
great.
Wonderful.
Praise God. That's awesome. Well done. Good stuff. Yay. I love a good end to a story like this. Wonderful. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. We want you to go on and be millionaires now and be outrageously generous and have a blast and just blow this thing wide open. You are doing so great. Also, a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone and get somebody else going on this same journey that you guys have been on, and Financial Peace University. A year's subscription to that on Ramsey Plus, and you can give that away to someone as well, or you guys go through it, either one, whatever you want to do. The brand new videos are out. And I'm sorry?
We're going to give that right to my mom. We are very excited. She's sitting right here with us, so she's excited get started.
Perfect. Well, this is brand new videos, and it's the best the class has ever been right now. They're absolutely incredible. So we're very, very proud of them. Congratulations, you two. Very well done. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right, it's Mike and Brett, Wilmington, North Carolina. $87,000 paid off in 2.5 years while they took a ride on the adventure train. Making 76 to 95. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Where's that free? Where's that free?
I love it! Woo! That's how it's done right there, man. Absolutely incredible. Very well done, you guys. Very well done. Hey, we appreciate you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ken, there is something that is beyond mathematical measure when a married couple decides to work together.
Yeah, it's when they come together and you see a couple, whether it be in an area of parenting, maybe it's just their relationship or certainly finances, it is special. And you see the power of two people coming together. There's something to that. There's an old story about this, actually data. It's actually real information on how much two oxen can pull together versus one. And, we see this in nature, and just the force of two people coming together to pull together and make unbelievable change in their life. And as you've said many times, generational change, changing your family tree. Here's another young couple that are changing their family tree. And funny enough, they take the gift of FPU and they're like, we're giving it to mom. And so they're leading up, in that way. They've modeled the way for mom. And now they're going to, be a force of good for mom too, not just affecting their daughter, but now their mother.
Yeah, it changes everything. I think it bleeds over into the area you talk about all the time, career as well.
Sure.
While career feels like my job, her job, my job, his job, there's something that happens when you're involved, not necessarily physically working at the same office. I don't mean that, but where you actually are woven into the career path and the decisions and the good and the bad at work.
Oh, yeah.
And how that carries forward and the support. And when your best cheerleader is at home.
That's right.
When you get home at night, and maybe you both went to work, and then both of you come home and you're sitting there and your cheerleader's at dinner with you.
That's correct.
That changes everything versus, nagging and tearing down and belittling and everything else. It changes everything.
Well, think about this. If you're in the career you want to be in and you're on your path, but you've got all this financial trouble, you look at your job and your leader as just a solution to your money problems. When you finally, as a couple, come together and you fix that, think about how it allows you to focus on your work and be a better employee and set your own path and become so much more promotable. Yep. There's so much benefit to financial peace.
Changes everything. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Psalm 31:24. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. I thought that was Blake Shelton.
That's good.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I got the wrong country artist anyway, but it seemed like there's a song to that effect.
There might be.
Yeah. It's Jake is in Phoenix. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing this afternoon?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Yeah, well, thanks for taking my call. I got two quick questions, one for Ken, one for you, Dave. Dave, I'll start with you. Quick background, my wife and I are debt-free, and we're currently in baby step 3 and expecting our first baby after a difficult 2 years. And my question is I have a 2009 F-150 that has a 36-gallon fuel tank, and we're going back to a hybrid schedule for my current job. And one of our biggest expenses right now is gas. And I know everyone's affected by this.
You're
However,
you're going back to a hybrid schedule for your current. Oh, your current job.
Yeah,
you're losing hours.
I'm sorry, I didn't elaborate that very well. I'm currently going back in the office 2 days a week, and I've been working from home the last 2 years or so.
Okay, hybrid meaning part at home, part at work. I got you. Okay.
Yes, sir. You got it. And so long story short, with gas prices in the large fuel tank, I think last month alone we spent $1,150 just on gas. And so I'm contemplating selling my truck. It's paid off, obviously. But just kind of trying to figure out if that's a smart thing to do right now. We, like I said, we recently became debt free, which has been awesome.
What's your household income?
Household income net is $11,000 a month. And then my wife is planning on going part time in December when we have our baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and how much of the $11,000 is hers?
Out of the 11,000, let's see here, she's about $6,000 of it, 6,000 of it.
Okay, so you're gonna lose 25% of your income. All right, and $1,100. You driving a long way to work. You're not even going to work every day.
We've had my wife and I have been going through fertility treatment, and our baby that we're having is an IVF baby, and dealt with recurrent miscarriages. So we've had a lot of driving to certain doctors that aren't really close.
Okay, so it's not about work then. It was about all of that.
Yeah, I think that's been a part of it too. And then now I'm trying to take into account going back into the office now. You know, we're spending that much on gas.
How far do you drive to the office?
Into work. It's about 40 miles round trip.
Okay, so that's not an $1,100 bill. The $1,100 bill had to do with all the doctor runs.
Right.
Which are not ongoing. So you don't make a long-term decision based on a short-term problem. Now, if you have a long-term problem because you're spending $1,100 going to work, then that would be something else. But you're not going to continue these doctor runs at this rate when baby comes, right?
Right. Just now it'll be office.
Yeah, which won't be anywhere near $1,100. Unless you have the world's worst F-150. But so, I mean, what's your F-150 worth?
It's probably worth around like $23,000.
Okay,
and,
so if you sold it, what price range car would you buy?
Part of me I'm torn. Part of me wants to buy a vehicle equal in value that gets better gas mileage. Part of me wants to buy a $10,000 vehicle, or maybe even $15,000 vehicle that gets better gas mileage, and then pocket the rest of the funds, as our emergency funds only at $1,000 right now, just from paying off debt and recently becoming debt free and getting ready for the baby.
Yeah. If you're going to be equal or move down, and you're going to save on a gas bill, then there's no reason not to do it unless you just love the truck. I wouldn't worry about it. But if you're some people use this stuff as an excuse. I want to move to from a $23,000 car to a $50,000 Tesla because the gas bill's killing me. Well, you're never going to make up that in your lifetime. So that's ridiculous math. But you're talking about moving equal or down. I'm fine with that. David is in Topeka, Kansas. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call, Dave.
Sure.
How are you doing?
Great. How can we help?
Well, I'm at a crossroads right now, and I wanted to get your advice and also Ken's. I'll try to explain this as simply as I can. So I'm thinking about a career change. I'm in school right now going for occupational health and safety, and I am about 18 months from graduating, but I've seen my pay at work go down recently. I was making about $5,000 before taxes per month. Now I'm below $4,000, and we're on baby step 3 right now. It's paused, but we're still trying to save a little bit and cash flow my college expenses. But we're thinking about downsizing again. That way we can keep cash flowing my college expenses and keep our housing expenses below 25%. But I'm scared of pulling out of the market just to price ourselves out of the next home.
Why aren't we focused on getting a different day job, or what we would call, when I say day job, meaning it's keeping you stable right now. You've seen a decrease in pay. We're in a tremendous job economy. Why is your mindset not on that?
I'm trying to leave. One of the reasons I went back to college is I'm trying to get out of that job.
Yeah.
In fact,
I'm with you. I'm saying,
so leave that job and go get a job that pays $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, we got 18 months before you're ready for the occupational.
And maybe
job.
they even pay for your college at the new place, and maybe you even get a job in the field, but you're not quite in the field yet. But they're going to pay for you to finish up and be working for them doing the thing.
Yeah, no, I'm actually, I went out of my comfort zone and I applied for a position about 2 weeks ago, and I'm waiting to hear back. And that would still be the entry level position would be about $60,000 before taxes per year.
Great, that's the right direction. So I don't know what your question was for me. Was it related to that? But that's where I want your focus right now. Is this becomes intense focus on getting a better paying job, because there's nothing about you and your body language and what I'm hearing in your words that says downsizing on the house again is something you're actually really excited about doing.
No, I don't think I wouldn't do that. I would upsize on my job again.
Yes.
So the actual degree you're going to get will have you working in what field?
The safety field, you can work in any number of industries.
I know. What's your dream? What's your dream position? Why are you doing this? What do you want to do when you graduate?
I want to help people work safer, have a safer work environment.
I get that, but what's the job? What's the dream job?
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing?
I'd like to work in the construction industry.
There we go. Okay, why don't you go get a job in the construction industry now, in the safety thing, and working for a company that will pay for you to finish your school and pays you more money in the meantime. That's like A position right there.
Yeah.
B position is go to work doing anything making $70.
That's right.
While you finish up.
Yeah, well, I actually like where you were going. A is what Dave suggested, but if you can't get in the safety type of work in construction, just get in construction. Because now we're there. We're in proximity in the field. Now we're making connections for 18 months and making better money, so that when we come out of there, we hopefully have established the connections to be able to get the actual position that you want. But I'm telling you right now, your number one focus is better paying job. That's gonna give you tremendous relief, and I'd love to see you get in the construction field. I think that is such a strategic move. When you make that move, all of a sudden you're making all these connections every day, not just getting a better paycheck. That's the best move. But
the AAA move is you go to work for the company you're going to work for anyway.
That would be
you
great.
Get your foot in the door, and they pay for college tuition.
That would be fantastic.
And you make more money. This is AAA.
I like that. AAA rating, Dave.
That's
nice.
The way to move right there. Yep. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Ken Coleman, good show. Austin, Ben, Zach, Andrew, James in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.